Newt is on his knees, his hands are shaking, his eyes, once steady, loyal, human, are empty now. The flare has eaten through his mind. "Please," he whispers, "Tommy, please." The city burns behind them. Cranks are screaming in the streets. The world is ending for the second time. Thomas raises the gun. He doesn't want to believe this is real. But Newt is already gone. A single shot echoes through the chaos. And just like that, one of the last pieces of their old world dies. But here's the terrifying truth. Newt didn't die because of the sun. He didn't die because of fate. He died because of Wicked, and Wicked created the virus in the first place. So how did a group of teenage boys end up trapped in a moving maze? Why were their memories erased? Why was the world burned to ash? And why did the girl Thomas trusted most lie to him from the very beginning? To understand the end, we have to start at the beginning. Before the maze, before the scorch, before the betrayal. It started with the sun. Massive solar flares scorched the planet, oceans dried, cities crumbled, crops failed, governments collapsed, the earth became a wasteland. But that wasn't enough, because humanity, terrified of overpopulation and dwindling resources, made a decision that would haunt it forever. An organization called Wicked, World in Catastrophe Kill Zone Experiment Department, released a virus. They called it the Flare. At first, it was meant to stabilize the population, but the virus mutated. It didn't just kill, it devoured the brain. Infected people, called cranks, lost their sanity slowly, painfully, violently. Civilization shattered. But amid the chaos, Wicked found something extraordinary. Some children were immune, and immunity meant hope, or at least data. So Wicked decided to run experiments, not small tests, not blood samples. No, they built a maze. Thomas wakes up in darkness. He remembers only his name, nothing else. Then the metal box lifts, light blinds him, voices shout, and he's pulled into a place called the Glade. It's a massive courtyard surrounded by towering stone walls. Beyond those walls, the maze, a shifting mechanical labyrinth filled with monsters called Grievers. And every single boy in the Glade has one thing in common. Their memories are gone. No parents, no past, just survival. Albie leads. Newt keeps peace. Minho runs the maze. Chuck becomes Thomas's shadow, like a younger brother in a world without families. Every day, runners enter the maze, mapping it before the walls slam shut at night. Anyone trapped outside but dies or worse. But the biggest mystery isn't the maze, it's who built it. Beetle blades, small mechanical spies, crawl along the walls, stamped with one word, Wicked. And then something happens that was never supposed to happen. The elevator returns with a girl, Teresa, the first and only girl. She arrives unconscious, holding a note. She's the last one. And suddenly, everything changes. The maze grows deadlier. Grievers begin entering the Glade at night. The rules are breaking. Albie gets stung by a Griever and survives. When stung, memories return. And what Albie remembers shakes him. He remembers Thomas. Not as a fellow prisoner, but as someone who helped build this place. Then Ben, another stung Gladder, tries to kill Thomas, screaming that Thomas put them here. Thomas doesn't believe it. He can't, until Teresa speaks to him inside his mind telepathically. She tells him the truth in fragments. They worked together. They designed the maze. It was a test, and Wicked is good. Thomas chooses to get stung himself. He endures the agony, and through blurred flashes of memory, he sees it himself in a lab, designing corridors, watching boys being sent into the Glade. He wasn't just part of the experiment, he helped create it. But here's the real twist. He doesn't remember wanting to. The Gladders decode the maze. Layering maps over each other reveals hidden words. They find a computer deep within the structure. Shall input the code. A door opens. Albie sacrifices himself to distract the grievers. They run. They escape. Beyond the maze is a wicked facility. Abandoned. Ruined. Bodies everywhere. It looks like Wicked collapsed. Like the nightmare is over. Then Gally appears, controlled by Wicked. He throws a knife. Chuck steps in front of Thomas. The blade hits Chuck, and Thomas watches the only boy who treated him like family die in his arms. Then soldiers arrive. They rescue the survivors. They explain everything. Solar flares burned the world. The flare destroyed it. Wicked created the maze to study immune brains under stress. They are humanity's last hope, and the trials are over, safe at last, or so they think, because when Thomas falls asleep, he wakes up somewhere else. The Scorched Trials. The rescue was fake. Now the soldiers were wicked. The maze was only phase 1. Now comes the Scorched Trials. The Gladers must cross a burned wasteland crawling with cranks. Wicked tells them they've been infected. A cure awaits at the end. Motivation through fear. And Teresa? She's gone, replaced by a boy named Eris from another maze, Group B, an entire second experiment mirroring theirs. Group B was all girls. Aris was their Teresa, and Rachel was their Thomas, but Rachel is dead, and Group B has new instructions. Thomas must die. Teresa reappears, cold, cruel, claiming she hates him. She betrays him, captures him, says Wicked needs him to experience true betrayal. Then later, she claims it was all an act. Wicked forced her. If she didn't play along, they would kill him. Is she lying or telling the truth? Thomas doesn't know anymore, neither do we. The Scorch kills many of them. Heat storms, cranks, madness, and still Wicked watches, recording brain patterns, measuring stress, always measuring. When they finally reach the safe haven, Wicked congratulates them. Phase 2 complete. Then Thomas wakes up in a white room, alone. Again, Wicked finally explains. The immunes are rare. Their brains resist the flare. By pushing them to extremes, Wicked maps their neural responses. They believe dissecting Thomas's brain will lead to a cure. One final sacrifice. Newt isn't immune. He was part of the control group. He's infected and deteriorating. Thomas refuses memory restoration. He escapes with Minho and Newt. Brenda and Jorge, who were planted by Wicked, join them. They reach Denver. Meet the Right Arm, a rebel group determined to destroy Wicked, and Gally is alive, freed from control. But the world outside is worse than they imagined. Cranks roam freely. Cities crumble. Humanity is nearly gone. Then they lose Newt. When they find him again, he's almost fully gone. He begs Thomas to end it, and Thomas does, because sometimes love isn't saving someone, sometimes it's letting them go. Thomas allows himself to be captured. Wicked claims they're close to a cure. All they need is his brain. He almost agrees. Almost, until Chancellor Paige helps him escape. She's lost faith, not in the mission, but in the method. The cure might be impossible. The real solution, let the immunes rebuild. Start over. Then comes the final truth, a memo. A confession. Wicked released the flare. It was population control during the sun flare crisis. They thought they could manage it. They were wrong. Millions died. The world burned. And then they tortured children to fix their mistake. Wicked was never good. It was desperate, and desperate people do monstrous things. Thomas and the others rescue the remaining immunes. The Right Arm destroys Wicked's headquarters. Teresa dies saving Thomas, and in her final moments, she almost explains everything, almost confesses why she lied, but the truth dies with her. Thomas was once a boy in a box, then a runner, then a rebel. Now he's just a survivor, standing on a quiet beach, watching waves crash against untouched sand. For the first time in his life, there are no walls, no shifting corridors, no hidden cameras, just open sky. But the scars remain. Because the maze was never just stone and steel. It was trust, it was memory, it was betrayal, and escaping it didn't mean forgetting it. If you enjoyed this full cinematic timeline of the Maze Runner, make sure to subscribe, like, and comment below, and tell me, if you woke up in the Glade tomorrow, would you run the maze or would you question who built it?